Hey guys, it's Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. I am doing Vlogmas for the first time ever. I'm going to try to be posting for the first 2 weeks of December every single day, both a short form video and a long form video. And today is my first video. It is my December plan with me using my HB90 planner by Sarah Cannon. I set up the whole thing with you guys, from printing it out to putting it in the planner, going over like all of my writing goals, YouTube goals for the entire month, like targets that I want to hit, all that kind of like goal planning, goal setting stuff, and also a lot of like decorating with like washi tape for some holiday Christmassy little festiveness. I decorate it all and kind of make it look pretty and put a bunch of stickers and just kind of set it up. I used this system last month after watching Sarah Cannon like set up her planner in November for the rough draft challenge that she was doing. She was filming vlogs all the time, and I saw her posting how she kind of like plans out how much time she has to write and do these different things. And this year has been like so incredibly hard for me to get some writing done. I've had like a lot of health issues, and the past couple of months we moved out of our home and had to get major renovations, and I have been very ill because of it. We found out we had mold in our house and it has just been a hot mess, and we're finally like starting to move past that, but we're nowhere close to like moving back into our house full time. It's a lot. Anyways, I was feeling very scatterbrained because of it. We just had like so many things to manage with home renovations, all these doctor's appointments I was going to, all this different stuff, and trying to figure out how long does it actually take me to edit a YouTube video and upload it? How long does it really take me to write X number of words? How long does it take me to edit a chapter? Because I am in the editing phase with my fantasy romance book, and I find editing a very unpredictable activity. The last month I kind of like used what Sarah Cannon calls task blocks in her HB90 system that she talks about kind of in this course that I've taken with her, and it's basically just like 30-minute increments of your time. So I mapped out a lot of that, so hopefully I've figured it out for this month, or like somewhat have figured it out, and you'll see me like set up all of that and how much time I think I have for writing. Realistically, I just threw kind of a wrench into my planning when I filmed this video. I filmed it on Friday and today's Monday, and I hadn't decided that I wanted to do Vlogmas yet. I like kept seeing people post about it and I was like, oh, I don't have time for that. I just suddenly have decided to be ambitious. I had so many video ideas for the end of the year. I really get like so excited about filming videos and making videos and editing videos. The past couple of weeks gotten like my editing time down to a better amount, and I'm hoping it just gets shorter and shorter as I go on, especially when I do easier videos. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to do it for just the first 2 weeks, so 14 days is kind of the plan, 14 to 15 days, something like that, because I don't want to be bogged down with so much editing and filming and stuff like that while I'm like really getting ready for Christmas. I want to enjoy the holidays with family, relax, but I'm like very excited to just do like a final push and really just like try to embrace this kind of crazy schedule. So that's what we're gonna do. Be kind if I don't do it, but I'm going to try my hardest. I have the first like whole week of videos already planned, and a lot of them are getting filmed, so I'm very excited. Yeah, so let's start off Vlogmas with our December plan with me and writing goals and all that kind of stuff. In the comments below, if you have made December writing goals to kind of finish the year off strong, let me know in the comments and we can all cheer each other on and try to hold each other accountable, and hopefully they go well. Let's get to the video and let's set up our HB90 planner. printed out and in the folder. It starts with the December focus where you go over your 3 main goals that you picked for the quarter and kind of like say what your major objectives are for the entire month. And then it kind of has just like your regular like monthly overview. And then each week you break down your 3 main goal topics and like what you want to get done each week in them, and then kind of like how long that's going to take you, all sorts of stuff. We're going to start right now with the weekly overview, and I'm not a huge fan of the font that the days of the week are in, so I'm just going to take a little whiteout marker that I have and I'm going to block them out. And I actually bought some stickers from Etsy. I will link them down below. They were super cute. They were kind of like pastel-y colors. I did like a fall set for November, and the winter one was all these like really light blues that I showed you a little bit ago, and I just thought that'd be kind of like a fun icy winter. But I'm literally just whiting out the word, and the last month I didn't do this. I just put like the stickers over it, and you could kind of see like the word around some of it because my stickers weren't quite like as large as I would have liked them to be. Anyways, so I thought this would work better. It did. I absolutely loved it. And I just kept the numbers. I thought they were totally fine. I didn't like buy sticker numbers, but the nice thing about this planner from Sarah Cannon is just kind of like versatile it is. That's kind of the whole point, is to be able to like decorate it yourself and kind of like do what works best for your system, your like planning system. I'm still like working that out. I'm really new to this whole like sticker planning thing. I've always used like planners that you get that there's no way you can change anything about them. But I found planners to be really expensive lately, so that was part of why I kind of looked at this. It was like a reasonable price. It was like $10 or $15 for the download to have the whole quarter planner, which I know like I guess like buying the whole year would end up being like what, $60 or something. But it's something I am wanting to try for a while and see if I find it very useful. I hope I do. But then I just kind of stuck the little stickers over it, and I think they look pretty cute. The only problem is like I know on the camera you can kind of barely see the 30th and the 6th. It's this like really light icy blue with like white font. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it looks pretty cute. So then she has these like day by day kind of breakdowns and a little review at the end, and then we start over the same process. So I'm just going to go through and do this for all the weeks of December and just kind of white them all out and put my little stickers on. And then we will jump into some washi tape. the December focus page, which is kind of a monthly snapshot view of your top goals and priorities for the 3 major goals that you've chosen during the quarter. For me, my goal number 1 is to write/edit my book. Number 2 is my YouTube channel. And number 3 is life organization and overall wellness, so financial wellness, personal wellness, doctor's appointments, home renovations, like all those kinds of things. I put all those like remaining tasks into that current 3rd goal. And this is kind of how the HB90 system works, is she has you focus on very specific targeted goals. So for this month, my overall goal for my book is to finish my book so that I can publish it. And right now I'm in the editing and rewriting phase after I replotted this book and have been rewriting it after some feedback. So my goal for the book this month is to have the first 10 chapters completely edited so they can go off for additional feedback. I have some alpha readers that kind of like are people I know in real life who enjoy fantasy romance, and they read it and just kind of answer some questions. I don't do this a ton. I've really only done it once or twice before, and it was with very previous versions that we like changed a lot. For YouTube, my goal for this month before I decided to do Vlogmas was to have 4 videos, so 1 a week, and then 2 to 4 shorts. I've had a really hard time trying to guesstimate how long it takes me to rewrite and completely edit chapters on this like final version before more feedback. And so I'm hoping that 10 will actually be a reasonable number, because most of these chapters I actually went through later in the video and I detailed out every single item that needs to be edited for each of these chapters, and it's just kind of like a little bit on a lot of them. I think it's more just like the only chapters that aren't edited at all are like maybe like 8, 9, 10. I think still need like a lot of editing work. The beginning chapters have very small changes left, so I kind of mapped it out, and I'm hoping that that will be like a good balance of like a tiny bit of work and a lot of work to kind of finish throughout the month. So I kind of broke it up into each chapter, and then I went over into each individual day and kind of plotted out where I have free time and how much time I have in this upcoming week to write, and what days would be best to do that, what days would be best to edit a YouTube video, how much time I have. They call it task blocks, which are just half an hour increments of time. So I kind of estimated that the beginning chapters that only have a few items left would take about 3 task blocks, which is about an hour and a half. And when I'm talking about task blocks, it's not just like letting time run for an hour and a half. It's like it's like sprint time where you're just completely focused for that amount of time. So I do it in half an hour increments, and there's a timer on. I don't usually have like my phone or any sort of distractions, and it's like a very focused amount of time that I can allocate to that individual task. So my thought process was that some of these smaller edits would only take an hour and a half of concentrated time. It probably will take me longer than that amount of time, just like in general, between like getting up in between each sprint and those kinds of things. But for the most part, it's like concentrated time. So when I kind of calculated all of the amount of time I had to do some of these tasks, I realized that I have about like 60 task blocks, so about 30 hours of time that I could like allot to it, but I only want to fill in half of that amount of time, just because I feel like that's the concentrated time. It's not necessarily like accounting for breaks or food or like driving to things. I probably need to get better at like guesstimating this a bit better, so when I'm actually saying how many task blocks I have like way less than I really think I do. So for every single project, you just end up going through and trying to determine how long you think each one will take you. So this past month, I went through and tried to time how long it was taking me to do some of these tasks. And YouTube videos in particular, I really harshly calculated them, and 1 week it was taking me 7 hours, which is 14 task blocks, to edit a single video. And then another week it took me more like 10, which is 5 hours. So I felt like the more intense I was about how focused I was during the task block, like sprint timers, the faster I was getting my work done. It also just like depended on the type of video that I was editing. If it has voiceovers, it's a little bit more difficult. If it's just like a cute little vlog, then it's much easier if I'm just adding like music and cutting things. So just trying to estimate the different chapters. For the chapter this week, I decided to break it up. I want to do 10 for the whole month, but I went with just the first 4 chapters in this week, and the first 3 chapters only need 3 task blocks, but the 4th chapter needs probably like 5 to 6 task blocks is kind of where I'm going with that, because it needs like a smidge more work than the rest. So after you add up all of the estimated time blocks versus like the actual, you can kind of see whether or not your weekly plan is realistic. I should have done this with the whole Vlogmas idea, because I definitely think I underestimate how long it takes to edit a YouTube video and film a YouTube video, and yeah, I may have like bit off a little bit more than I can chew, is what editing Sarah says, and we may have to go to like every other day, and that will be okay. We will try. But logging these things and actually seeing how long it takes to do these different tasks, I feel like is really important.